Our top story this morning is, of course, the general election. All the votes have been totted up now and the final results are in. The Conservative Saenuri Party had a bad night, failing to secure a majority in the National Assembly as it had been expecting. The Liberal opposition parties fared much better than they had expected, picking up extra seats that will stand them in very good stead for the next 4 years and for the presidential election, the big one that is coming up at the end of next year. We do have our Shin Se-min in the studio for a breakdown of the results. So, Se-min, it really was an exciting night, and the results caught pretty much everyone off guard, by surprise.
Right, it was a shock to a lot of people, especially the major political parties, because the numbers from the exit polls did not match with the initial projection made by each political parties. And a little after 10 hours of ballot counting at around 4:30 a.m. Thursday Korea time this morning, a lot of the ballots have been coming in and tallied up. The results show that the ruling Saenuri Party failed to secure a majority of seats in the 20th National Assembly. And for that, and that's the first time in 16 years the opposition parties combined will now have a majority outnumbering the Conservative Party. Now here's a rundown of the number of seats designated to political parties based on the election results. Now, what you see on the screen is the numbers that we had a couple of hours ago, but we have the final results, which are the Saenuri Party securing a total of at least 122 seats, while the Minju Party of Korea won some 123, and the Minor People's Party taking 38 seats. Now, that's the final results, so that will be the final number for the parliamentary seats designated for the political parties.
Well, just looking at the map there, and you see a huge swathe of red for the ruling Saenuri Party. But of course, those areas are rather less populated than the others. It was a bad night. It was a very bad night for the ruling Saenuri Party and a good night for what was the main opposition, Minju Party of Korea. But they actually, as of now, have more seats than the Saenuri Party, according to the results. So the dust really is still settling, and the parties will take stock this morning. They've been campaigning for a long time, late into the night, watching these results. But what we did see in this election is that areas that historically voted for one particular party actually switched their allegiances in some cases.
That's right. Some of the political home turfs got smashed from this election. Now, regions known to support a certain political party have changed, tearing down the regionalism that we're normally used to, and that's also rooted in the country's political realm. If you take a look at this map here, the colors of the political parties painted in parts that aren't normally seen with that pigmentation. Now, this is zooming in on the Seoul metropolitan area. The Minju Party of Korea took the majority seats in the capital, where nearly half of the country's entire electoral ballot were up for grabs. And looking at the entire Korean map, for one in the Honam region, known as the region that backs the country's largest liberal party, has been swept by the Minor People's Party, securing 25 seats from the total of 28. Now, also in the Gyeongsang-do province, known as the home ground of the ruling Saenuri Party, a lawmaker representing the Minju Party of Korea and an independent candidate that left the ruling camp, Yoo Sung-min, had been elected to stand up for the people in Daegu.
It's interesting to see how the map for Seoul took shape, because the Minju Party of Korea had a very good day there. Of course, the Gangnam region, the real affluent area of Seoul, still voted for the Saenuri Party. What are we hearing from the political parties at this point?
At this point, the headquarters of the political parties have waned out. There's not many people at the headquarters anymore. But from what I've seen on the election day, starting from a little after 3 p.m., a lot of the political party members gathered at the headquarters of each party to monitor the exit polls coming out. And all cheers and the serious faces kicked in the moment the polls closed at 6 p.m. Korea time, with the members of the political parties, including the leaders, monitoring the numbers and the screens set up at the headquarters. Now, the Saenuri Party kept its solemn faces throughout the vote casting processes, eventually keeping the party leader Kim Moo-sung from visiting the actual election base throughout the entire election day. Now, hours after the ruling camp told reporters that the party humbly accepts the election results, adding that it will be reborn as the political party that communicates with the people. And quite a different mood at the Minju Party of Korea as the party members cheered on as the exit polls showed that they're expected to win more seats than initially projected by the party itself. Now, the party's interim leader Kim Jong-in said that he felt the public's sentiment is a frightening power and that it will take some time to change the heart of the people, especially gearing towards the people of Honam region. Now, the Splinter People's Party also greeted the outcome as the polls show that at one seat it hoped to secure, including the majority seats it had pledged to win. The minor liberal camp expressed confidence for winning seats it had pledged to win, even without joining forces with the Minju Party of Korea.
Well, you couldn't get a more contrasting reaction to the exit polls there. The Saenuri Party looking very downcast. The Minju Party of Korea, the second party of people we saw there, looked over the moon. And the People's Party looked pretty happy, apart from the leader, An Chol-soo, although I'm sure inside he was absolutely delighted with the results as well. Now, this general election is considered a kind of litmus test for the big one, which is coming up at the end of next year, December 2017. It's the presidential election. This could really reshape the political landscape over the next several months in the run-up to that. How do you think this is going to change the atmosphere going into the big one?
Well, experts say it's going to be a game changer, as the outcome that we're seeing looks like it's going to be the first time in 16 years that the combined opposition party lawmakers will outnumber that of the ruling party, and which that will also greatly influence President Park Geun-hye's remaining term that ends on February 2018. And experts are also cautiously predicting that with the ruling Saenuri Party losing steam by not being able to secure the majority at the parliament, that outcome is likely to bring a new paradigm in selecting the next president of Korea and even selecting the presidential nominee down the line.
Okay, so as of now, pretty much those are numbers we're looking at. They may change somewhat over the course of the day as we wait for 100% of the votes to come in and for the dust to finally settle. Like I was going to say, you've been with us all night following this election, so thank you very much, Se-min. I know because I connected to you at noon yesterday at the Minju Party headquarters, so thank you ever so much for your reports. And yes, that's it for our election coverage for now. We're going to move on to the rest of the day's news.